number 3. This is The Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, live in Los Angeles. iHeartRadio. Fox Sports Radio. FS1. 5 minutes from now, Brian Scalabrine got the first pick in the Big Three draft tonight. His thoughts on the Celtics, the Sixers. By the way, he called Ben Simmons. He kept telling everybody, Ben Simmons is going to be unbelievable. So Brian Scalabrine will look at the first-round playoff matchups in the NBA. They are set. But there is something I have to talk about, so let me start with this. I don't believe in coincidences. Never have. Things happen for a reason because people want them to happen. What do you know? Russell Westbrook sealed a second straight triple-double season by grabbing 20 rebounds, a career high. Russell Westbrook is really talented. He's played in 748 career NBA games. What a zany coincidence. Last night, he needed 16 rebounds, and last night, in 748 career basketball games as a pro, he set his personal rebounding record. Oh, what are the chances of that? It means a lot to him. Stats mean a lot to him. They didn't to Bill Russell. They didn't to Michael. They didn't to Magic. They didn't to Duncan. They mean a lot, and that's why Kevin Durant's in Golden State. I've been very lucky in my career, 30 years doing media. I've worked with great people, smart people, thoughtful people, talented people. But in local TV especially, I noticed this the 14 years I was in it. Some people really cared about winning awards and Emmys. They were not untalented, nor were they bad people. But the best coworkers I ever had and the most talented people I ever had didn't care about awards. You knew they could play at the next level. We all knew. Magic, Russell, Duncan, first ballot guys. Westbrook cares deeply. It's why I call him the MV me. Last night there was a moment where he boxed out his own teammate, Carmelo Anthony, to get a rebound. He boxed his own teammate out. Maybe subconsciously. It's just sort of what he does. The MV me. Carmelo, it should be noted, 2 days ago, acknowledged on this show, we had the tape, yeah, we goose his numbers. And they do it because they know it matters. Let me show you another piece of tape. Golden State, Oklahoma City, earlier this year. Westbrook needs 1 assist for a triple-double. Late in the game, he desperately tries to get an assist. KD and Steph are seen laughing at him on the Warrior bench. The gig's up. Everybody gets it. Coaches know, players know, Oklahoma City knows. But they're coddling him because they lost Harden and Kevin Durant, and they can't afford to lose a transformative talent, and that he is. But Magic, Russell, Duncan, Bird, Akeem, Stockton never cared about stats. You know who did? Wilt Chamberlain, a world-class talent and a world-class flake. For all his talent, 100 points a game, 80 multiple times, pro beach volleyball player, could have run track, probably before LeBron, the greatest gifted athlete in the sport's history. LeBron, you know, could play the NFL. He could. He was an all-state football player when he played in high school for a year. He could. Wilt was the pre-LeBron, and Wilt didn't win many titles, and Wilt was never a good teammate. People never came out and crushed him, never publicly ripped him, but everybody knew Wilt was into Wilt. By the way, interesting line from the Oklahoma newspaper. Westbrook had 11 rebounds, 12 assists by half. He grabbed 8 in the opening 11 minutes. His teammates conceded rebounds to him to get Westbrook the record, and Westbrook took full advantage. Of course he did. Yesterday, he got very prickly when asked about his stat padding. Take a listen.
The people that's talking or saying whatever they need to say, they should try and do it and see how hard it is. Since everybody's so, everybody wants to be talking. And, I'm tired of hearing the same old rebound this, stealing rebound, all this. I take pride in what I do. Come out and play, and I get the ball faster than somebody else get to it. That's just what it is. If you don't want it, I'm going to get it.
All right. What do people get defensive about? Criticism that hits close to home. You walk up to a supermodel and say she's unattractive, it's not going to bother her. You walk up to a billionaire and say he's dumb and broke, it's not going to bother him. You tell a guy who's obsessed with stats, dude, you're sort of obsessed with stats. And that's the answer you get. The MV me. 748 career games. What a coincidence. He grabbed the most he's ever grabbed last night, and OKC continues to enable and coddle him. And with that, we bring in former NBA player, 3 teams. First pick in the Big 3 draft tonight. We'll try to wedge that out of him. Brian Scalabrine, who's in the best shape of his life. You've lost 25 pounds since I last saw you. What, do you sleep on a treadmill? What's going on with you?
Hyperbaric chamber. No, it is funny that I'm in the best shape of my life, getting ready for the summer league in the Big 3. But, yeah, I do have the first pick. And you're not going to get it out of me, even though I might be leaning towards Birdman.
Sam Darnold? Sorry, wrong draft. All right, let's go into this. You played on a championship team with the Celtics in 2000, what year was that, 8?
Yes.
Okay. I think you played in a tanking team.
I did, yeah. 2007, before, everyone was tanking to get Durant and Greg Oden at the time.
Okay. So listen, it used to be that David Stern, the commissioner, was a yeller and a screamer. He would call owners on the phone. Don't you dare tank. Don't you dare tank. Adam Silver's pro player, a little more reticent. Not a yeller, not a screamer. We have 7-8 teams actively tanking.
Yeah.
Kids take advantage of the parents they can take advantage of. I've never seen anything like it. So my point is, Brian, the Sixers have won all these games in a row. They've played 12 tanking teams. How good are they?
Well, the Sixers are good because of the additions they got at the break. Getting Bellinelli, getting Ilyasova. You add shooting to that lineup, and you have Ben Simmons. They are, when you watch them play, you can't look at that and say, this is not new age NBA. You got a 6'10" guy that can get to the lane, finish, and pass over the defense. I mean, that's where Ben Simmons is special because of the people they put around him and the spacing they have. They're also doing it without one of their best players, Joel Embiid. Winning 16 games in a row, I don't care who you're playing, it's a tough thing to do, especially down the stretch when you're trying to stay ahead of Cleveland, because probably they want to match up against Boston in that second round.
Brian, when we saw Tiger when he was 18, a lot of people pushed back and said, slow down, slow down. But you could see Tiger and go, oh, God, he's going to be better. Bryce Harper, Sports Illustrated cover at 16. Generally, the people that we go, okay, that's an all-timer, we're mostly right on. Peyton Manning, Tiger Woods, Bryce Harper. I look at Ben Simmons, and I don't think it's too early. I think he's Magic LeBron-esque.
Yeah.
And I don't feel guilty saying it.
Yeah, I think probably more along the lines of Magic, just without that unbelievable leadership. A lot of what you were talking about in your
rant.
The rant there. Yeah. But, very, very much a Magic Johnson type of player. But remember, the game is so different now, right? He's going to run a ton of pick and roll. He's going to get to the paint. I like the fact that he can't shoot.
Why?
Because he's not trying to prove to the world that he can, which is important, right? Like sometimes when you take these players and say he can't shoot and let's prove that he can, they end up taking a whole bunch of bad shots.
Yeah.
Well, Ben Simmons turns the corner, gets to the paint, and his greatest skill is his ability to pass over the defense and not through the defense. And that's different when you're 6'10" versus you're 6'2". Like those passes can be delivered on time, on target. And I think all the guys who are playing with, not to mention JJ Redick, who they signed last year, all those guys are benefiting from playing with him.
Yeah, I mean, do you think they could beat LeBron?
Not this year. No, I don't think they have enough experience to understand. I think LeBron, if anybody that knows the playoffs, LeBron knows the playoffs better than anybody. And I think LeBron has done a great job of pacing himself this year.
Okay, so, yes, I can be listen, I'm known as a LeBron homer and a Tom Brady homer. And I always say, they're great. Why wouldn't I be? Am I being a homer or am I being accurate? People think I'm a Westbrook hater. And I say, every time I talk about him, If I had $150, he's the one guy in the league I'd pay to play for. Although Ben Simmons now may be that guy.
Gotcha.
The second thing I say is he is an all-time first ballot Hall of Famer. But not all stars are easy to play with. Iverson wasn't. Marbury wasn't. Stevie Francis wasn't. Ball-centric guards drive people nuts. That's why Durant's a warrior. I'm watching this stat padding last night.
Yeah, but Colin, like even be in that situation, like so let's forget the last two games, which he definitely is going for it, right? Are you going to say that he pads stats all year long? He's chasing boards and assists all year long. That's all he cares about.
I'm saying that he is a natural scorer. So first of all, he's going to get over 20 a game. He'll always be a double-digit scorer.
Sure.
He doesn't have to pad that. And because he has the ball so much, as long as he has a wing shooter, he'll get 10 assists. I believe he actively thinks regularly about getting the rebounds. The team lets him move in on free throws.
Sure.
I think he pads rebounds every game.
He just got the MVP because all people talked about was him averaging a triple-double. So why wouldn't you? If the media creates that and he goes after that, it definitely is something that he thinks about. But the problem is all the guys that you named were all from the old school players. He's not the only guy in the NBA right now padding stats.
Who do you think pads stats?
LeBron?
Whoa. Pump the brakes. What do you mean, LeBron?
Well, here's the thing. When you don't play any defense, that's a form of padding stats. Like not being a two-way player is a form of padding stats. Saving your energy just for the offensive end is a way of padding stats. Where you look at it like, I don't think Russell conserves as much energy defensively as LeBron, and LeBron is searching out. Now, the difference between why his numbers are so great this year is because he doesn't have Kyrie Irving. So he has the ball in his hands way more.
Yes, yeah.
Like, how are you calling one guy out and not another? And Russell's a much better defensive player.
Well, when he wants to be. He's younger. When Westbrook chooses to play defense, but there's a lot of times he just lets his guys shoot. I think he led the NBA earlier this year, fewest times guarding his man beyond the three-point arc. He's kind of doing his thing.
But he's also, they're 10th in the NBA in defensive rating. You happen to want to guess where the Cavs happen to be?
Where?
29th. And LeBron did play 82 games this year, and he did play 3,000 minutes. So like I commend LeBron. I'm commending him for doing it, right? I'm commending him for getting through the 82 game season, but to say that this is his best season and he doesn't pad stats, and I can't believe how this guy continues to get better with age, that's just wrong. He is not playing the defensive end of the floor, nor does he care. He does not care on that end.
By the way, you live in Boston. I maintain that starting next year, not this year, I never thought the Celtics would win even with Kyrie. Even with Gordon, I said it's going to take a year to figure out the chemistry. Sure. I believe starting next year, not the Sixers, but the Celtics dominate the East for a decade. In Boston, is there an understanding that, is there that much dismay, chagrin, disappointment in the Kyrie Irving injury? What was the feeling in Boston when he went down?
Yeah, a little bit. I think that you spoke on this. Like local media obviously overreacts to everything, and if Kyrie was healthy, that the Celtics could win a championship, right? Like that's probably with you.
They're not a championship team with Kyrie.
Not yet. But I will say this: the Gordon Hayward injury, the Kyrie Irving injury, is really setting them up to be an NBA championship team next year.
I agree. I think they'll be. I honestly believe going into next year, I have them in the finals, and I would have, depending on, because let's be honest, Durant and Steph, we have a history. They get hurt, they get injured.
And
so's Kyrie.
It's tough going 5 straight years. But I want to throw something to you. What if LeBron goes to Philly?
He doesn't have any houses in Philly. Why is he going to Philly?
Yeah, but that's his best chance to win. Like, think about this team. Philly is already good. They already have the pieces. Like, LeBron is getting older, and we can talk about this year and him coasting, whatever, but he is getting older. He would probably like to take a little bit, not to carry the entire team every possession. Why not go? I think Philly is the most logical place to go. They have the cap space for him. They can sign other guys.
Markelle Fultz could still be a bust. We're not sure he's not.
Yeah, that pick right there can come back to really bite them. But LeBron does have, if he goes there, you have him, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid.
Scal, you play this league. Simmons and LeBron play alike. What is Simmons going to go to the perimeter and shoot? How do they play together?
I think they play through Simmons most of the time.
You do?
Yeah. LeBron is looking to, after playing 82 games in all the minutes in this year, I don't think he's looking to do that again and prove to the world again he can do it all over again.
I got to be honest with you. I don't know why he played 82 this year.
just to prove that he can.
But I mean, I would argue
Because he's chasing the MVP. Like you want to say Russell Westbrook's the only guy chasing
you're
anything.
just throwing things out there at this point.
You don't think? Wait. If I said to you at
Yes.
the beginning of the season that if LeBron James plays 82 games this year, is he going to win the MVP? Your answer's got to be yes, right? You think for sure?
I
he's
do
going.
believe this year, knowing he can't be the Warriors, it is the first time in his career he's been ridiculously self-congratulatory.
No question.
Every week.
No question.
He's like Trump on Twitter.
Yeah, no question.
It never stops.
It's out of control. And to be honest with you, at maybe obviously not this station, but there's another station out there that he can bully into getting MVP votes. Would you give him
What station would that be?
the 4-letter station?
So that he can, what do you mean bully them?
Access, whatever, just to make sure that people.
Oh, that is very interesting.
I just think like there's a way when he and
They
it's
have a
all
lot of votes.
It's all transparent. I mean, just look at. I mean, just watch the TV from 6 o'clock on. I mean, there's a lot of LeBron this, LeBron that. But my question is, what would you do? There's really only 3
If
guys.
I'm LeBron,
MVP.
LeBron 1, Harden 2.
Oh my gosh! Wait a minute.
Time out.
Wait a minute. LeBron won.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Can you guys run the sound on something you said earlier in the show today?
Let me hear. He was so bad defensively early in his career. I don't think you can give the MVP to a guy that doesn't try. When did I say that?
You just said that like
That was
30
talking
minutes
about
ago.
Harden.
I know you were talking about Harden, but you just said you can't give the MVP to a guy who doesn't try on the defensive end. He doesn't try.
No, I said Harden early in his career.
Correct.
You could not give the MVP to. You just could. He didn't even attempt to defend. Now I think he's close to it.
Oh, yeah.
You're saying LeBron's as bad defensively as Harden was 4 years ago?
Way worse.
Oh, come on.
Wait a minute. You know, have you ever watched the Phoenix Suns play?
Yeah.
Okay. The
Unfortunately,
Cavs are like
yeah.
slightly better than them. The Cavs are slightly better than the Suns on defense.
Okay, but those are stats. Kevin Love's been hurt. Isaiah Thomas was hurt.
Oh, my goodness.
Good.
Yeah,
George
but
Hill.
We're talking about the MVP of the NBA. The Houston Rockets defensive rating is 6th in the NBA. You can get on Harden all you want. And I'm just trying to convince you to vote for Harden, who deserves the MVP.
By the way, do we have the graphic, Sam? In every other sport, Brian Scalabrine, it's totals, total home runs, total RBIs.
Yeah.
NFL, Brady, total touchdowns, total catches. Hockey, goals, assists, total. In basketball, we give averages.
Okay.
Okay, that's just the way basketball works. If you went totals this year, Harden loses to LeBron overwhelmingly in every single category except points, where he averages one more bucket. Come on now. Totals? It's not even close.
And what about wins?
Well, wins. He plays with Chris Paul. He's got a coach who has the best offensive system. Of course, he's got more wins.
What about defensively?
Neither one's great anymore.
Houston is 6th in the NBA. Both these guys play a ton of minutes. You put the stats up right there.
Scal, if you took the ball in the angle, you'd score on both.
No.
Okay, I went
I'm
hyper.
like a step above you.
I was a bit hyperbolic on that.
Yeah. No. Houston plays defense. They are slightly better. The Cavs are slightly better than the Suns defensively.
Well, I'm going to argue that has to do with Isaiah Thomas injury, Kevin Love injury, George Hill injury.
LeBron is still out there for 3,000
you
minutes.
can't guard 5 guys. I mean, I know
Oh.
LeBron's the Swiss Army knife of America. How many people can he guard?
Well, my point is, people want to get on James Harden for not playing defense,
He's better than he used to be.
but LeBron is worse now than James Harden ever was.
Well, I think we'll agree.
No, I mean, like, you can't be you can't be as dominant. Now, by the way, as I say all those things, I do think he's going to turn it around in the playoffs. And I commend him for resting during the regular season and playing all the 82 because I know he's going to flip the switch and be able to do that. I understand all that. But you can't give a guy you can't like go on your rant about Russell getting rebounds and then not talk about LeBron's defense. You got to hold everyone accountable. You don't work for the other station. You work for this station.
All right, Big 3 draft is tonight.
Number 1 pick.
Number 1 pick right here. Hey, if LeBron is available, I'd choose him.
Yeah, I talked to him.
Not
You
available.
got to be able to play defense in the Big 3. You got to bring it on the defensive end.
Scal, you're great. Good seeing you, buddy. Car won't start no matter where you call home. We've had a weird winter this year. We've had a lot of rain out west, heavy snow in February and March. Northeast has been getting clobbered. They just had another snowstorm a week ago. That's where you call in Advance Auto Parts. They offer low prices and a variety of valuable services to you, the consumer, at no charge. That includes free battery starter and alternator testing, free. And even new battery installation, free with purchase. They have Speed Perk members. Earn up to $20 in rewards. Advance Auto Parts has more than 6,000 locations in Canada and the U.S. Don't miss out. Visit an Advance Auto Parts or a participating CarQuest Auto Parts store near you today. No matter the weather, count on your car and truck without fail because of Advance Auto Parts. Get back on the road. See store for details. Service available on most vehicles at most locations. Advance Auto Parts.
No one agrees on the best.